Have you ever looked around and wondered, what if this is all just a simulation? What if everything you know, your life, your experiences, even the universe itself, is nothing more than a sophisticated computer program? Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of simulation theory, exploring its origins, implications, and what it means for us. Simulation theory suggests that our reality might be an artificial simulation, much like a video game. The idea gained traction in the early 2000s thanks to philosopher Nick Bostrom. In his 2003 paper, he proposed that at least one of the following statements must be true. 1. Almost all civilizations at our level of technological development go extinct before becoming technologically mature. 2. Almost all technologically mature civilizations lose interest in creating simulations of their evolutionary history. 3. We are almost certainly living in a computer simulation. Let's break this down. The concept of simulation theory isn't as modern as it might seem. Its roots can be traced back through centuries of philosophical inquiry, where thinkers have grappled with the nature of reality and existence. One of the earliest philosophers to question the nature of reality was René Descartes, in the 17th century. He famously posed the idea of an evil demon, a hypothetical being that could manipulate our perceptions and deceive us into believing in a false reality. Descartes concluded that the only thing he could be certain of was his own existence. Cogito ergo sum, I think, therefore I am. This foundational idea highlights the struggle to discern what is real and what is illusion. Fast forward to the 20th century, and we see similar themes emerging. Philosophers like Jean Baudrillard explored the concept of the hyperreal, where the distinction between reality and simulation becomes increasingly blurred. In his work, Baudrillard argued that in a world saturated with images and representations, we often lose touch with what is real. This idea resonates strongly with the notion of living in a simulation, where our perceptions may be constructed rather than authentic. The idea of simulated realities gained significant traction in popular culture, particularly with the release of films like The Matrix in 1999. The film presents a dystopian future where humanity is unknowingly trapped in a simulated reality created by intelligent machines. This narrative not only captivated audiences but also sparked widespread interest in the philosophical implications of simulation theory. As technology advanced, the conversation around simulation theory evolved. The rise of virtual reality and artificial intelligence has made the idea of creating lifelike simulations more plausible. Today we can immerse ourselves in virtual worlds that feel incredibly real, prompting us to question the nature of our own reality. In 2003, philosopher Nick Bostrom published a groundbreaking paper titled, "Are You Living in a Computer Simulation?" In it, he presented a trilemma that challenges our assumptions about reality. Bostrom argued that at least one of the following statements must be true. 1. Almost all civilizations at our level of technological development go extinct before becoming technologically mature. 2. Almost all technologically mature civilizations lose interest in creating simulations of their evolutionary history. 3. We are almost certainly living in a computer simulation. This trilemma has profound implications. If the first two statements are false, it suggests that advanced civilizations would likely create numerous simulations, making it statistically more probable that we are living in one of those simulations rather than the original reality. Since Bostrom's paper, the discussion around simulation theory has only intensified. Scientists, philosophers, and technologists continue to explore the implications of living in a simulated reality. Some argue that advancements in quantum computing and artificial intelligence could eventually lead to the creation of simulations indistinguishable from our own reality. Moreover, the theory has sparked debates about ethics, consciousness, and the nature of existence. If we are indeed living in a simulation, what does that mean for our understanding of free will? Are our thoughts and actions predetermined by the code of the simulation, or do we possess genuine agency? In essence, the origins of simulation theory are deeply intertwined with philosophical inquiry and technological advancement. As we continue to explore these ideas, we are challenged to reconsider our understanding of reality and our place within it. Now let's delve into the scientific underpinnings of simulation theory. At its core, the theory posits that our reality could be akin to a highly advanced computer simulation. But what does that mean in practical terms? To understand this, we need to look at the fundamental building blocks of our universe. Quantum mechanics, the branch of physics that deals with the smallest particles, reveals some astonishing truths about reality. For instance, particles exist in a state of probability until they are observed. This phenomenon, known as wave function collapse, suggests that the act of observation plays a crucial role in determining the state of reality. Imagine a computer program where the environment only renders when a player looks at it. In a similar way, quantum mechanics implies that our universe may only activate certain aspects when we observe them. This raises the question, could this be a sign of a simulation where resources are allocated only when needed? Moreover, consider the rapid advancements in technology. We are already creating increasingly sophisticated simulations. Video games today can simulate vast open worlds with intricate details and complex interactions. As technology continues to evolve, the line between reality and simulation becomes increasingly blurred. Virtual reality, or VR, is another fascinating aspect. With VR, we can immerse ourselves in entirely fabricated environments that feel incredibly real. As these technologies improve, the possibility of creating a simulation indistinguishable from reality becomes more plausible. Some scientists argue that, if we can create such simulations, it stands to reason that a more advanced civilization could have done so long before us. Let's talk about computing power. Moore's law, which observes that the number of transistors on a microchip doubles approximately every 2 years, suggests that our computational capabilities are growing exponentially. This growth could eventually allow future civilizations to run simulations of their entire history, complete with sentient beings. Imagine a future where a civilization has reached a level of technological maturity. They might choose to run simulations for various reasons: scientific research, entertainment, or even to understand their own history. If they create multiple simulations, the number of simulated realities could vastly outnumber the one base reality. This leads to Bostrom's argument. If many simulations exist, the probability that we are in the original base reality becomes exceedingly low. To illustrate this, consider a thought experiment. If you were to create a simulation of a world, would you populate it with beings that have consciousness? If so, would those beings be aware of their simulated existence? This raises ethical questions about the treatment of sentient beings within a simulation and whether they possess free will. Ultimately, the scientific exploration of simulation theory challenges our understanding of reality. It invites us to consider not just the mechanics of the universe, but also the philosophical implications of our existence. Are we mere characters in a grand simulation, or do we have agency and purpose in a reality that is fundamentally real? To grasp simulation theory, we need to explore the scientific principles that support it. At its essence, this theory suggests that our reality might be an artificial construct, similar to a highly advanced computer program. But what scientific concepts lend credence to this intriguing idea? Let's begin with quantum mechanics, the branch of physics that examines the behavior of the smallest particles. A key phenomenon here is wave function collapse, which indicates that particles exist in a state of probability until they are observed. This suggests that observation plays a crucial role in shaping reality. Consider a computer program that only renders its environment when a player looks at it. In a similar vein, quantum mechanics implies that our universe may only activate certain elements upon observation. This raises the question, could this be indicative of a simulation where resources are utilized only as needed? Such a model could enhance efficiency, processing only what is essential for the observer. Next, let's examine technological advancements. We are already capable of creating increasingly sophisticated simulations. Modern video games can replicate vast, intricate worlds with complex interactions. As technology progresses, the distinction between reality and simulation becomes increasingly blurred. The rise of virtual reality, or VR, and augmented reality, or AR technologies allows us to immerse ourselves in digital environments that feel remarkably authentic. Virtual reality is particularly relevant here. With VR, we can enter entirely fabricated environments, experiencing sensations and interactions that closely mimic reality. As these technologies advance, the potential for creating a simulation indistinguishable from our own reality becomes more feasible. Some scientists argue that if we can develop such simulations, it stands to reason that a more advanced civilization could have done so long before us. Now let's discuss computing power. Moore's law states that the number of transistors on a microchip doubles approximately every 2 years, indicating that our computational capabilities are expanding exponentially. This growth could eventually enable future civilizations to run simulations of their entire histories, complete with sentient beings. Given the rapid pace of technological advancement, it's not hard to envision a future where creating realistic simulations is commonplace. Imagine a civilization that has achieved technological maturity. They might choose to run simulations for various purposes, scientific research, entertainment, or even to explore their own history. If they create multiple simulations, the number of simulated realities could vastly outnumber the one base reality. This leads to Bostrom's argument: if many simulations exist, the likelihood that we are in the original reality diminishes significantly. To illustrate this, consider a thought experiment. If you were to design a simulation, would you populate it with conscious beings? If so, would those beings be aware of their simulated existence? This raises ethical questions about the treatment of sentient beings within a simulation and whether they possess genuine free will. If we are indeed simulations, could it be that our creators have endowed us with the ability to make choices, albeit within certain constraints? Ultimately, the scientific exploration of simulation theory challenges our understanding of reality. It invites us to consider not only the mechanics of the universe but also the philosophical implications of our existence. Are we mere characters in a grand simulation, or do we have agency and purpose in a reality that is fundamentally real? As we navigate these complex ideas, we recognize that exploring simulation theory is not merely an intellectual exercise. It has real-world implications for how we perceive ourselves and our place in the universe. So, what does it mean if we are living in a simulation? The implications of this theory are profound, touching on various aspects of existence, consciousness, and ethics. First, let's consider free will. If our reality is a simulation controlled by an advanced civilization, it raises the critical question: are we truly in control of our actions? If our thoughts and decisions are predetermined by the simulation's code, the concept of free will becomes questionable. Moreover, if we are living in a simulation, what happens when the program ends? Do we cease to exist? Or is there something beyond the simulation? This question challenges our understanding of life, death, and consciousness. It invites us to consider whether our experiences have meaning, even if they are part of a constructed reality. The ethical implications of simulation theory are equally significant. If we accept that we might be living in a simulation, we must also consider the moral responsibilities of the creators. If advanced civilizations can create simulations with sentient beings, what ethical obligations do they have toward those beings? Should they treat their creations with respect and dignity, or are they merely tools for experimentation? This leads to discussions about artificial intelligence and consciousness. If we can create AI that exhibits signs of consciousness, does that mean we have a responsibility to ensure their well-being? If we are simulations ourselves, does that change our perspective on the rights of other sentient beings, whether biological or artificial? Ultimately, the implications of simulation theory challenge us to rethink our understanding of reality, existence, and morality. They invite us to engage in deeper philosophical inquiries about the nature of consciousness and the ethical considerations of creating life. As we ponder these questions, we are reminded that exploring simulation theory is not just an intellectual exercise, it has real-world implications for how we view ourselves and our place in the universe. Are we mere characters in a grand simulation, or do we have agency and purpose in a reality that is fundamentally real? While simulation theory presents a captivating perspective on our existence, it is not without its critics. Let's examine some key counter-arguments that challenge the validity of the theory. One major criticism is that simulation theory is unfalsifiable, meaning it cannot be proven or disproven through empirical evidence. Philosophers and scientists emphasize the importance of testability in forming credible theories. If we cannot devise a way to test whether we are living in a simulation, some argue that the theory lacks scientific rigor. Critics also point out that Bostrom's trilemma, while thought-provoking, relies heavily on assumptions about the behavior of advanced civilizations. Just because a civilization has the capability to create simulations does not mean they will choose to do so. The second point of Bostrom's argument suggests that technologically mature civilizations may lose interest in creating simulations. This raises the question, what motivates civilizations to create simulations in the first place? Without concrete evidence, the probability calculations become speculative. Another significant counter-argument revolves around consciousness. Some philosophers argue that consciousness is a unique phenomenon that cannot be replicated in a simulation. They contend that even if we could create a highly advanced simulation, it would still lack the genuine subjective experience that characterizes human consciousness. This leads to the question, can a simulation truly replicate the richness of human experience, or is it merely an imitation? Moreover, advancements in artificial intelligence have sparked debates about the nature of consciousness itself. If we create AI that exhibits behaviors similar to consciousness, does that mean it is conscious? Critics of simulation theory argue that consciousness may be an emergent property of biological systems, making it impossible to replicate in a digital environment. This challenges the idea that a simulation could ever fully encompass the depth of human experience. Furthermore, some skeptics argue that focusing on simulation theory detracts from more pressing philosophical and scientific questions. Instead of pondering whether we live in a simulation, they suggest we should concentrate on understanding our actual reality, addressing existential questions about meaning, purpose, and ethics in the world we inhabit. Lastly, the theory raises ethical concerns about nihilism. If we accept that we are living in a simulation, some may conclude that our lives lack meaning or significance. This perspective can lead to a sense of despair or apathy, undermining the value of our experiences and relationships. Critics argue that embracing simulation theory could foster a dangerous mindset that diminishes our motivation to engage with the world and improve our lives. As we navigate these philosophical waters, we invite you to share your thoughts. Do the arguments for simulation theory resonate with you, or do the critiques hold more weight? Ultimately, simulation theory resonates with our fascination for the unknown and our quest to understand our place in the universe. Engaging with these narratives encourages us to reflect on our experiences and the nature of reality. If you enjoyed this journey into simulation theory, like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. Do you think we're living in a simulation? Let's discuss.